Hello students, now we are talking about a nuclear chapter. In nuclear chapter, usually in this coming board examination, you can find for 1 mark question, one question will be asked, and for 3 marks question, I don't think so 5 marks question will be asked here, and even numerical also can be asked here. You can expect 1 marks as well as 3 marks questions. So usually 3 marks means, in our model question paper there are 2 questions which I am going to write down the answers, and we can expect more some 3 marks questions which are able to be asked. Okay, distinguish between nuclear fission and fusion, which is one of the important expected question which can be asked. Fission and fusion. Fission, you know what is fission? If heavy nuclei gets split into smaller nuclei, that process is called fission. Fusion means fusing. That means if a smaller nuclei gets into combined to form a heavier nuclei, then I call that process as nuclear fusion. So the first point which I can write here, splitting is going to happen. This is the way you have to remember: splitting of heavy nuclei. Splitting of heavy nuclei into so splitting of heavy nuclei into light nuclei. Here the first point you have to write: combining of light nuclei into form heavy nuclei. I believe you are getting what I am writing. Okay, this is the first point. And second point, so understood now? Nuclear fission, nuclear fusion. First point, this is splitting takes place. Here combining of light. Both process will release the energy. Here there is no energy absorption. Here also there is no absorption. These two process or these two reactions which are going to take place forms energy release. Are you getting that? And second point, we know the nuclear fission will produce more energy as compared. So energy released per reaction, that is per fusion. Energy released per fission is large. Okay, this is one of the important point. You must not forget here. Energy released per fusion is small. Are you getting that? Is small. This is one of the important point. And one more point we can write here. Energy released per unit mass is less. Okay, here energy release. See, I am telling you, the energy released on both sides, both reaction releases energy. You might be having a misconcept. The nuclear fission will have energy absorption. No, both energy reaction will release energy, and this will be more. Are you getting that? This is going to be more. Okay, and these are the major. Here, what is the difference between these two? Per reaction, energy release is more. Per mass, energy release is less for fission. Here, energy release per reaction is less, but per mass it is more. I believe you are understanding. Are you getting that? I believe you are understanding what I am talking about. Okay, next point. One more point we can write. This reaction I can write possible. This is possible at ordinary temperature. Are you getting that? This is possible at ordinary temperature. And this reaction I can say requires high temperature. Okay, requires high temperature. So these are four definitions which you, any three of the points you can write. Still you can write one more, add one more point. Energy, large amount of energy is released. This is, see, one more here, this reaction usually happens in the sun, nuclear fusion which happens in the sun. That's why where high temperature is there you can find fusion, where ordinary temperature you can find fission. Are you getting that? These are the four major difference. Five are there. One more point I can add up, fifth one, by rubbing this. What is that fifth one I can add is fifth one here. Energy released is with harmful radiations. Okay, this is one more point you can add up. So here energy released without harmful radiations. Okay, you can add up this point. You can add up one more point. These are first 4 points what I have written as the basic points. Anyhow this can be asked, expected to be asked on 3 marks. You can write any 3 of the point. Okay, this is one question. Another very simple question which was asked, I am going to for 3 marks. I am dealing with the 3 marks right now first. Okay, I am dealing with the 3 marks. Another question was asked, write the characteristics of, okay, write the characteristics of nuclear force. Write the characteristics of nuclear force. This is one of the questions from the model paper. You know there are many things in that. You have to write 3 things, which I am going to revise in this video, such that if you just watch the video you can remember. Okay, the many characteristics are there. First one you know very well. This is the strongest basic force which is available in nature. Okay, and one more thing, and second one also you are knowing this force doesn't require any charge like electric forces, so this has to be charge independent. Okay, charge is not required for the forces between the nucleons. Okay, question can be asked for 3 marks. Yeah, anyhow when we ask for 3 marks like this question, you must be able to write 3 marks. And see the syllabus, deleted syllabus. Don't read for the deleted syllabus here. There are many of the topics which has been removed from this chapter, nuclei. So be careful while reading this chapter. Okay, and please make sure that complete this chapter, because this is very less time taking chapter. Most of them theory is there and most of the topics has been deleted, such that it will find for you an easy way to read. Okay, I don't think so this time they are going to ask any numerical from this chapter. I'm not giving you 100% guarantee, but I can give surety that possibly not expecting. Okay, I'm not expecting. The word expecting has a lot of meaning here. First, whatever I am telling in the videos, first you finish off these things. Okay, the charge independent, and one more easy point which you know, these are short range. I believe most of them have written in the preparatory exam these answers correct, and they are exchange forces. Exchange forces I call because we have a theory from a Japanese scientist saying that the nuclear interaction force happens due to the particles called what is that? Some particles called mesons, which are being exchanging. These particles will exchange from proton to neutron and neutron to neutron and proton to proton, such that the forces will be bind together. Okay. That's why we call it as exchange force. Then these are called saturated force. And one more thing, attractive, or then the one more point I can write which is important, spin dependent, which will be easier to remember. It depends on the spinning of the nucleons which takes place inside the nucleus. Okay, saturated means it is a kind of explaining this property of nuclear force a different way. Okay, saturated means within the nucleus, if I take one nucleon, within the nucleus if I take one nucleon, that nucleon will have influence to some of the limited number of nucleons. That force, nuclear force, will be experienced by only some of the nucleons inside the nucleus, not complete nucleons. That's why this force I called saturated one. Okay, so spin independent means if there is no, it depends on the spinning of the what is that, two particles. It depends on the, you know that protons and nucleons, they have spinning quantity. They spin angular, they have angular momentum because of their spinning. So I am telling they depends on their spinning ability. Okay, and exchange force means I told you there is a research on this saying that the forces, the nuclear forces are due to there are many theories. What is the cause of nuclear forces? We are exactly not known, but we gave some theories saying that there are some particles called meson, pi meson, negative pi meson, MESON. So from that particles, there is a continuous exchange of particles takes place between proton and neutron and proton, as well as proton and neutron. So due to that, there is a exchange of particles. There is a cause of force which we call nuclear force. For that we call exchange force. Short range, they are within the range. Charge independent, you know, it does not depend on either the particle is neutral or charge one, or positive charge or negative charge one. Strongest basic force, this is the strongest basic force. So these many points you can be given for 3 marks. Okay. Then even for 3 marks they can ask you one more question. What is that? Differentiate between differentiate between controlled and uncontrolled chain reaction. This is also which can be asked for 3 marks. Okay, we can study it out. What is a controlled and non-controlled chain reaction? When I say the word chain reaction, I am talking about nuclear fission. Fission means splitting up of nuclei. I am talking about fission reaction. Okay, here there is no doubt that I am talking about fission reaction. A chain reaction, fission chain reaction, you know, if one nuclei gets split, it is going to release some of the electrons. So those electrons again, neutrons. So once they go and they are going to hit another nuclei of the same material, fissionable material, then again the bombardment of reaction, nuclear fission reaction takes place. each nuclear fission reaction produces 3 neutrons, 3 to 4 neutrons, and if those 3 to 4 neutrons, once they come out from the reaction and start to move with a velocity, they are going to hit another nuclei, and it keeps on going to form a chain reaction. Are you getting that? And that nuclei will form a fission reaction. Again, that after fission, due to the neutron bombarding to particular nuclei, the fission reaction takes place. What is fission reaction? It is a splitting up of nuclei. Okay, so like this, every fission reaction will produce 3 to 4 neutrons. Those neutrons will go ahead and hit another nuclei, and this keeps on continuous. This keeps on going, and this process we call nuclear chain reaction. Okay, in that there are two types: controlled and uncontrolled chain reaction. Okay, in nuclear fission chain reactions we have got two types: controlled and uncontrolled. What is controlled? Controlled chain reaction means if you can control that chain reaction, okay, means a nuclear chain reaction is going to produce tremendous amount of energy. If you can control that amount of energy released, then I can say that is controlled one. If I cannot control that reaction, chain reaction is what we call as uncontrolled chain reaction. To the best way to remember, in controlled chain reaction, this energy release we use to produce electricity in the nuclear reactors. Okay, in nuclear reactors we are going to produce electricity from nuclear chain reactions. So those chain reactions which are happening in the nuclear reactors, we call it as controlled chain reaction. If you want to give me an example of uncontrolled chain reaction, you can take an example of explosions, atomic explosions, where a sudden amount of energy is released with uncontrollable manner to form an explosion. Okay, it is used for making bombs. Usually in nuclear weapons means we are talking about uncontrolled chain reaction there. Okay, so I am going to make 5 to 6 differences. In that, if you have to pick it out 3-1 and you have to remember for the coming exams. Okay, first one, what I can say is, in controlled chain reaction, if I take an heading controlled, this is a controlled chain reaction, this is uncontrolled chain reaction. Are you getting that? I can make 5 differences out of it. First one, I can write this produces fission. This fission reaction produces constant. Fission produces neutrons, usually, which are constant. Are you getting that? Which are constant. Here fission producing neutrons multiply indefinitely. I believe these are the points I am picking from the material only, so that it will be remembered. Here, every reaction in the chain reaction will produce a constant neutrons and kept constant. Constant neutron means if you change the texture of the material, the neutrons which are produced by nuclei, we can control it by not making the collision with other nuclei. If these neutrons, if I make only few number of neutrons to collide another nuclei, like that, if I prepare the texture of the fissionable material, then I can control that reaction. That is by keeping the neutrons kept constant. Okay, and fission producing neutrons multiply indefinitely here. That means he is talking about bombard moment. Here only one neutron causes further fission. Okay, out of 3 to 4 neutrons produced by a single nuclear fission reaction, in that only one neutron is available to hit next nuclei to produce another nuclear reaction, such that it can be kept constant. Okay, fission reactions can be kept constant. Okay, here also same thing. Here what happens? Here, for a shortcut purpose, I'll write more than one neutron. So here I will give, in uncontrolled chain reaction, I will give an opportunity for neutron which is produced by a single fission reaction. Usually a fission reactions produces 1 to 4, 3 types of not types, number of neutrons. Here I will give an opportunity for only one neutron to hit another nuclei. Here more than one neutron I am going to give opportunity to hit the another two nuclei to form a further fission reaction. Okay, on the same, within the same material, and one more, so since it is a constant energy release, it is a slow reaction, it has to be, okay, this has to be slow reaction, and this has to be very fast reaction. Okay, so if you write 3 points, more than enough on this. Then one more point I can write, add up, I can add up one more point here. What is that? Here what is the cause? Example you can write, which is used or works on the principle, a nuclear reactor. Okay, you can write example as nuclear reactor, which is the easiest way to remember. Here you can write an example as atom bomb. Okay, atom bomb. One more point you can add up by writing what is that. This is energy is utilized for peaceful purpose, energy is utilized for explosion purpose. Okay, like this you can make 5 points. In that you can write any 3 of the point. Okay, because it can, usually the question can be asked, this question also can be asked. I believe you have understood each and every point which I am telling. Go through these questions for 3 marks. Target 3 marks question for nuclear chapter, as well as 1 marks question, 1 3 marks question. Okay, energy used for peaceful purpose. Here I can write energy used for destruction purpose. Are you getting that? Destruction purpose. So this is one of the important question. You can make any 3 points in the coming examinations if it is being asked from this question. Okay, you can even expect one more 3 marks question which can be asked. What is that? Draw the diagram of a nuclear reactor. Okay, draw the diagram of a nuclear reactor and label its parts. What is the function? I am just I'll mention, I'll not write this, but just I will mention the nuclear part reactor. What is the function of a moderator? I'll try to explain all the parts which are being used here. So here one thing, for your remembering, I will give a different diagram, but for the examination, by keeping this diagram in your mind, what exactly happens, you can go through the diagram which is given in NCERT textbook. Okay, I'll try to explain that. For that, let me draw one shield. This is a protective shield I call. Okay. This is the protective shield I call. Inside this, I will take seer. This is one. What is that? Core. This is the protective shield now. I'm making this diagram for your easy remembering purpose. What exactly nuclear reactor, how it works. Okay. And this is connected to one more chamber, which I call okay. This is somewhat like this. This is somewhat like this, and I'm just explaining first what is nuclear reactor, how it is going to help me. Here I will draw a structure like this. Okay. Now this is going to one turbine, then two chamber, then it is going to come back. Okay, this is what somewhat diagram, which I will give you an explanation. What exactly is happening here is, here I will draw one frame. This frame is made up of nuclear material. Here only the chain reaction on this takes. Between this there are control rods which are being kept. These, what is the function of these control rods is, these control rods will maintain the nuclear chain reaction. You are getting that? These control rods will maintain the nuclear chain reaction. Okay. Now here a liquid is filled out. Here completely a liquid is filled out. This liquid, coolant liquid, we call coolant, I call. Okay. Here one I missed out. Here one water pump is there. Now this is, I call what? Heat exchanger. This is, I call heat exchanger. You try to understand how the heat is getting exchanged. This coolant will go here. Okay, which is present. This coolant will pass here. Okay, again it will come back. It will pass here. It will come back. So you couldn't see this coolant what I have written. So I'm going to write once again. Now this is protected with the shield because the nuclear reaction is happening there. Here what is present, I will find a space to write. 1 minute. Okay, let me write here. This is, I call coolant which is present. Okay, this is a frame. What is this frame? I call fissionable material. Okay, this one I call fissionable material. Okay, you go through this nuclear reactor. These are called control rods. Are you getting that? These are called control rods, I can say, which controls this reaction. Okay, how it controls the reaction? when this frame, whatever I am showing, will have a nuclear fission reaction, it is going to produce neutrons. If those neutrons are being absorbed such that those neutrons will not hit this in the middle frame, okay, such that that reactions can be controlled. So there is a mechanism which controlling. Now what is the use of this coolant? Now core, when I say core means this complete core of the when you see in the diagram, this whole content we call core. Are you getting that? This whole content we call core. Okay. Now one more thing, electric shield means we use some reflectors. Reflectors means which reflect, which will not allow neutrons to escape outside. Okay. Now that energy heat produced from this nuclear reaction is absorbed by this liquid which is present inside this compartment. That liquid will go here, and here we will find a water. Okay, in this pipe we will find a water. So this water is not mixed up with this coolant actually. Okay, here this water is not mixed up with this coolant. What will happen is okay, what is going to happen is this water, this hot water which is coming from these reactions will make this this coolant which absorb all the heat will come here, and it will transfer the heat to this water such that this water is going to become steam. Are you getting that? This coolant which is absorb the heat energy from this nuclear reaction will go like this, and that heat energy will be absorbed by the water, and water gets converted into steam, and that steam is being passed here. Okay, that steam is being passed here. This steam will be utilized to what is that? To rotate a turbine. Again this steam will pass here, and this is a condenser. Okay, this condenser is utilized for what is that? To cool this steam and convert into water. Again that water is going to come. This is a water pump which is being used. A water pump is used to push the water again inside here. Again the heat is absorbed, it will get steam, it will go like this. Are you getting that? These are the things which the process happens. I believe you have understood. So first thing, the reaction happens, the heat energy is absorbed by this coolant. This heat energy is absorbed by this coolant, and control rods are there to control the reaction. This coolant will pass like this. Hot coolant which is having a heat, that heat will be transferred to water, and water will get into steam, and the steam will be passed, and the steam passes, and which makes the turbine to rotate, and from that it will be connected to generator to produce electricity, and this steam will come back here, and the condenser is being used to cool this steam, and again it will be processed as a water. This will be recycled. Here also same thing, this water which will lose energy, it will go down, and it is going to pass again into this chamber. Core, we call core of this chamber. Are you getting that? So this is the complete process which happens. To remember, okay, I am explaining everything because you have to remember how exactly nuclear reactor happens. This is the Nott diagram which is meant for your exam, because you have to draw the diagram which is given in your NCERT book. But still I have shown how the process works exactly in nuclear reactor. Okay, such that if you can keep in mind whatever the words you are writing, it can be explainable. Okay, now I will draw the diagram which is done in your NCERT book, and you have to write in the exam. So in the exam, for this answer you have to make up this diagram. Okay, you draw one core. Okay, this is the core we call, and this is closed in a chamber. Okay, this is closed in a chamber, and there are two control rods which are being inserted. Core means where the reaction takes place, and these rods we call what? These rods we call control rods. Okay, control rods, and these are called reflectors. Here coolant is passing through one more chamber. Okay, again this is steam to turbine. They are shown in a shortcut manner. Okay, and this is water. This is water from condenser. This is the water from condenser. Okay, this one we call heat exchanger. What we call? We call it as heat exchanger. Okay, I believe it can be asked for 3 marks. This is connected like this. So like this the diagram is being placed. Okay, what is the function of moderator? Here moderator is used to slow down, as I shown in the previous diagram. Here 4 parts. This is the explanation of the parts which I have done already. Everything. This is a heat exchanger. This much diagram you have to make it down, and there are the parts you can mention is fuel. One is fuel. One more is, what is that? You can write moderator, coolant. Okay, you can write control rods, protective shield. Okay, protective shield. Protective shield is used not to that reaction come outside the nature. Okay, and you can still write protective shield here. A, B, C, D, E, right? Protective shield. Okay, protective shield. So fuel means what type of fuel you are adding. That is fuel. We are talking about what type of fissionable material you are adding inside this core. Then moderator. See, moderator and coolant, that liquid which was present inside the core in the previous diagram, will tell you what is that. That will act as a coolant, as well as that will absorb the heat from the nuclear reaction, as well as it is moderator. What is the function of moderator? Moderator, slowing down the neutrons. Due to the presence of the liquid, the neutrons emitted by that nuclear frame which I showed in the previous diagram, it can be controlled. It reduces the velocity of neutrons. If you ask me what is the function of moderator, it reduces the speed of the neutron. How? It produces the fast moving neutrons, velocity of neutrons, such that neutrons will not go and hit to the another reactor fissionable material to continue the chain reaction. Okay, moderator usually reduces the nuclear reaction. Okay, and control rods. To control the rate of fissionable reaction, these control rods are being used. Coolant, to remove the heat produced by the due to what is that fission reaction, it is used. Protective shield, not to escape. This is a protective shield which is, this is the protective shield we call, which is being used. Okay, this is called protective shield which is used. So you can go theoretically many ways, but I gave a clear picture. Wow, what is that? A picture of a diagram of a nuclear reactor, how it works. This is also possible. It can be asked for 3 marks. Okay, thank you guys.